In Greece, the ownership system applying to residential areas is called divided ownership. Divided ownership includes vertical and horizontal ownerships, which we explained in another video. Under this system, the ownership of functionally independent and self-contained building units, such as apartments and shops, may belong exclusively to a person. On the contrary, the land upon which the building was constructed and the building's common areas and facilities are jointly owned by the owners of the building's individual units. The common areas and facilities of mixed-use buildings and residential complexes are specified in a notarial deed that is signed by the owners of their individual units. The deed must be registered with the local cadaster to be binding on future owners. If the deed hasn't been signed, the common areas and facilities by law are those which are essential and necessary for the operation of the building and, to that end, may be accessed by all owners of the individual units. These areas and facilities include the land upon which the building was constructed, the front yard, the backyard, the building's foundations, the roof, the building's entrance or lobby area, the frame structure, the stairwells between floors, the parking lot, electricity and water systems, the exterior walls, the elevator, and more. Use of the common areas and facilities should be specified in a notarial deed that is registered with the local cadaster, known as Building Management Regulation or Homeowners Affairs Regulation. If that deed hasn't been signed, common areas and facilities must be used according to the purpose they are intended to serve when built. Violations include using the main building entrance as a parking space for bicycles and motorcycles, and using the underground parking space as storage space for tenants' property. Moreover, the building's owners must not alter the outside appearance of the building. That said, awnings installed on apartment balconies must be all of the same type and color. Finally, laundry may not be hung to dry outside from the front balconies above the street. All owners of individual units have the right to access and use the building's common areas and facilities. However, an owner's exercise of this right must allow other owners to exercise their rights likewise and may not endanger the safety of the building and its inhabitants. For instance, the owner of the ground floor apartment that has access to the backyard through the bedroom cannot restrict access to the backyard for other owners by installing a fence between the front yard and the backyard. However, the owners may allow the exclusive use of a common area to just one or more properties. This privilege often involves vehicle parking spaces in the front yard and enclosed storage units in the basement. Owners of buildings' individual units may agree with each other regarding their share of the repair and maintenance costs of the common areas and facilities. These terms are included in the Homeowners Affairs Regulation. The notarial deed is usually signed by the owners of the land upon which the building was constructed before completion of its construction. If this deed hasn't been signed, the owners of individual units share repair and maintenance expenses in proportion to the area of their properties. If any of the above obligations are violated, owners may request the local court to protect their rights. The court judgment is enforced by any legal means on those owners who don't fulfill their obligations. That said, if an owner doesn't shoulder the burden of repair and maintenance of common areas, then the owners may file a lawsuit against him, requesting the court to oblige him to pay off his debts. The same applies in the event of misuse of a common area by an owner. For instance, if an owner occupies a part of the front yard with his car,
Are you crazy?
he may be compelled to cease this violation by a court judgment. When you buy a shared property in Greece, it is essential to know and understand your rights and obligations as a homeowner regarding the common areas and facilities. A lawyer must determine if a notarial deed that contains these terms has been registered with the local cadaster. Often, buyers are misinformed and find themselves in a difficult and disadvantageous position after a purchase takes place. Rosu & Associates law firm has assisted businesses and individuals in buying and managing property since 2005. Solving issues between homeowners is one of our main fields of expertise. Should you wish to buy, sell, or lease property in the wider area of Thessaloniki, Chalkidiki, or Athens, we will be glad to assist. Thanks for watching.